Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. Excuse if my air conditioner comes on because we do have roasting weather today. So it's been summer for us. I know over in the UK, some of you folks like it seems like about every 20 years I've noticed you get like a heat wave, maybe every 30 or so. I think it was back in the 70s, I recall people in like uh well, Great Britain, you know, um England, Wales, you know, you guys were really roasting. Um, or two, it seems, if not that, maybe like about 20 years ago, maybe in like about the 90s or something, which would have been 30 years ago, right? But no, it seems like it happens about every so often there. It's just like on my Facebook, I shared what El Nino and La Nino are, the ocean currents that change every so often around our planet, and the warming and the cooling of the seas will affect climate in other areas. It's a constant thing. It happens all the time, and they're using it to scam people. So, really look into your history. Every so often, it happens there. I've noticed it's a thing. It's nothing new, really, honestly. It isn't. I don't care what they say. It's the truth. I mean, I'm telling you the truth. So, look into ocean climate. They'll talk about La Nino and El Nino. I do believe the El Nino is the warmer one, and it brings in warmer winds and warmer um, oceans, currents into different areas. And then if you have a La Nino winter, you'll have, or summer, you'll have the cooler weather, and they alternate. Like one does its thing and then transitions. So it's like every 6 to 4 years it does this funky thing, you know. So it's the truth. I'm telling you the truth. But people don't really want to look into things if they're into this. Uh, oh, everything's changing so drastically, and people that have been around for a while, we're like, they're like, wow, it's hot. Yes, it's summer. That happens in the summer here, you know, and over there. You get it every once in a while like that. Just ask your parents or grandparents. They'll tell you they went through like stuff like that. I understand. I was walking. The worst wasn't so much going to work when it was 96 in the morning, but was 112 in the afternoon coming home, where you literally could cook an egg on the sidewalk, you know? So, yeah. I saw a picture of a guy's car or gals. They had hot dogs on the antenna. They were taking advantage of the heat. I used to put them burritos that are in packages, as long as it's not bean, if they were like the hot chili beef ones or cheese ones were the best ones to do it, because you didn't have to really worry about any bad bacteria. So I'd throw some burritos on my dash in my car and go back and get them at lunchtime. Or I could time them according to the temperature, you know? True. So, well, this morning I found an address of a person that is in a pretty large position in the government, and I'm going to write them a letter. I'm not going to say it today because I don't want people to try and interfere with their minds or whatever on trying to help the kids that are wards of the state. So I'm going to write that letter in the morning, and then I'm going to read it on a video and put it in the mail and inform them that I'm making a video of it and who the other people were that I tried to get in touch with that are being paid by the people, and I didn't get their response. And tomorrow exactly, it will be, see, now tomorrow will be tomorrow will be a month. I'll have to look on my videos. It's either 3 weeks or a month. I do believe it was a month ago that I started trying to get a hold of people on this. So I'll just see. But I mean, that doesn't matter anyway. No, it is a month because I remember saying like Monday would make it 29 days, and on Tuesday would be 30, which is plenty of time for people to correspond when you're in a, even like most, and most companies or your doctor will, whoever will usually courteously call you within at least a few days of the same week, you know. But this is several times that we've tried to get a hold of people in regards to different things, and you really don't get a response. So I'm going to get louder and get some attention for these kids, and I'm going to do it too. You just watch me, I will. I'm not taking no for an answer. I might have to, ooh, that's dreaded, but take a trip down to the cities. Ugh, I thought about that. I know they won't let me speak anyway, you know. But I'm going to find a way in to talk to these creatures. If they don't want to answer me like a human being, well, then they can answer me like a paid employee, you know. So, yeah. So I found the person that I think will do what describes my issue and what I'd like to see passed into a bill. Last night I was little disgruntled, and the thing is, this person does not even understand because he has no clue what he's talking about. I was watching Lionel Nation, or it wasn't last night, it was this morning. Maybe it was, no, it was this morning. um no, it was yesterday's video. Yep. And I wrote on there, he was talking about he'd like to see more adoption than abortion. Well, of course, if that were the only choices. But I wrote on there, why don't you ask the kids or the people that this have been through this? We would write, orphans would rather be together than left alone with an adult, a strange adults, you know. They'd rather be in a group together. And I know that from experience. It's like Doug, he's 72, and he's talked to lots of people that have been adopted in foster homes, and there you'll never see them with a smile on their face. The only time you see a adopted child with a smile on their face is if they got a new toy or something for the photo that they're in. And then Lionel quoted, like, look at like um, Charlize Theron, who is letting her little boy pretend it's a girl. This is an adoptive mom. Okay, that was one of his examples. Um, Madonna was another example. Money does not make a mom, believe me. Neither does blood all the time. But, and then there was another, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Well, that worked out real well, didn't it? You know, leave the kids alone. Leave them together. They're all they have together. Just leave them the hell alone. You don't know what these people are doing with these children, you know. really poor examples of telling me, trying to ignite my enthusiasm for the adoption train, you know. So he just doesn't know any better. He grew up with parents, so you can't really speak on something you don't know about. You know, you should probably ask the people that have been through it. They'd be the ones to tell you what would be the best way to go and help children that are in that situation. So, yeah. Anyway, that's if he wants to push on that adoption thing, I'm going to have to push a little harder back on him. Like, I don't know, I do get a lot of good information from him. And it seems to me, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me that basically, I'm not going to say it. Forget it. Forget it. No, no, not right now. I might tomorrow. It depends. No, I just, he's very unaware of the reality of being in the care of total strangers alone in their house and not checked up on ever again. So that's yeah. And it's not just me. If it was just me and I was just going on a bad experience or something, that'd be one thing, but it isn't. You know, just leave the kids the hell alone. You know. But see, that's it. They want to lower the consent age for children in everything concerning. They want vulnerable little people that they can influence. That is not a good thing. Like different cultures that marry children, you know, that's not a joke. You ever seen a 9-year old pregnant? That's not a pretty sight. Quite frankly, teenagers have a hard time picking out what clothes they're going to wear or worrying about how their complexion looks or their grades, let alone having to worry about who's going to accost them physically or spiritually. Poor little things. I ran across a guy that, well, it was something like he's an art historian, I do believe. I can't remember what he called himself, but he had a documentary on some of the pictures that his father drew or painted when he was young. That he had a fascination with this witch, and I don't think it was so much a witch. I think it was maybe even a tormented spirit, but perhaps not even a witch. Maybe this guy, because it was said that in his bloodline, which is Scottish, and I have some of that too. It's like uh, that they were related to her, and she had been put to death, but during the witch trials in Scotland, and who was king and everything, but and different cultures and different. I don't know. It was so good. I'm going to share the link to it. I'll just put witchcraft there. It's a two-part thing. I think they're like a half hour each or something like that. I found it pretty interesting all around because we all know that there's people that do sign soul contracts. You know, so that's obvious. You know. Let's put it this way: if their lice are rosy and they're laughing a lot. I mean, really laughing, you know, not just a jovial soul, but the surface of, oh, I'm so happy. Um, I have a donut in a Starbucks this morning, or you know what I mean? Because actually, the average working class person doesn't buy their coffee at Starbucks. The average working class person gets their coffee when they fill up their car or they drive in through a drive through or something like that. They don't really get out and like have a cup of coffee in their internet cafes. You know, it's not quite the working class. You know, hey, I've done both, so I don't really care who does what or what your income is. That I could care less. I've never cared. Could care less. You know, I know I'm always gonna be okay, so I really don't care one way or another who does what. You know, and especially public officials. Their education is no more important than mine. As a matter of fact, mine's more important than theirs. Maybe they can sign a Bill of Rights that'll help a child. I can literally save a child's life, you know, so what's whose education is more important? Is it more important for a man to go to technical school and learn how to build your house or take care of your car, or people to go to chef's class or whatever, um, you know, or work in the Food and Drug Administration, God forbid. What a bunch of shills over there letting us eat poison. Oh, that's okay. So many bugs per million, you're good to go. And now they want to push, oh, like cockroach milk. And this is really interesting. Is like 100 times uh, more protein than cow's milk. But that's nice. I've never really milked a cockroach. Did milk a cow. So, and I don't know, something about something that will eat decaying flesh doesn't scream to me that I want to put its remains in my body, you know? And I guess this is really weird. My ex lives over in Wisconsin, and the Wisconsin State Fair is on his birthday, August 4th, same as Obama. I could tell you about that personality too, big time. And anyway, they got this new caramel apple that has bugs on it. And Doug said, were they killed humanely? And I said, knowing those people over there, they're probably still alive on the apple. You know, it's true. I about lost my lunch. I think I ate lunch that day. Well, not only one time, but my ex would eat like raw hamburger right in front of me. It's like, and I had just watched this movie called It's Alive, and I was pregnant with my first son, and I was throwing up constantly. It was an alien. I was convinced. You know, it was bad. Oh my goodness, that was bad. I that's another one I barely lived through. Total nightmare. Wow. Here I am. Oh, ouch, man. That was not just childbirth. That was some demonic fucking shit. Yeah, it was. He ripped out of me. I had 13 stitches there. Yeah, they sent me home. Said I wasn't dilated, and you know they could have cut it, or induced it or even thought about a C-section, but no, they sent me home. I come in here and I'm like, this baby is coming out, and they're like, well, we got to call the doctor. I'm like, call him. He needs to be here. Freaks. So anyway, and it got worse from there. That I'm laughing now, but I actually did. I didn't entirely sue the hospital, but I didn't pay my bill. I got an attorney and went in and talked to the administrator. It's like, your clowns really did a job on me, and you're lucky to get away with your hospital still being open. That's how badly I was treated. So, yeah, it was bad. So, I didn't even tell nobody I was pregnant the second time for like 4 months to try and keep them a little safer. So, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, I got kids on my mind today. And then I just watched a movie last night. It was a pretty good movie called The Break of Dawn. It was about people that were being human trafficked right in their own town, um, through the university in a program where they were using cadavers for doctors and that, learning how to be medical students. And so these kids would literally sign up for their bodies to be used, on their license. And but they had a special list in their class that they would sign up for. Freaky movie. Yeah, The Break of Dawn. Whoa. But yeah, this is really going on in the world. People don't really realize it a lot of time. I had my uh, granddaughter's mom call me one time, and she was like, this guy was following her in this little town they live in, and she hadn't never seen him before, and she was freaking out. And I told her, well, lock your doors and do not stop, and when you get home, make sure he doesn't follow you up into the yard, and because these people will target what they think is a vulnerable person. So, yeah, she did get home safe, but it was creepy, because she had never seen him before. They're in this little tiny town, um, and then he followed her around. I mean, everybody in that town. It's like I lived there for a little while too. Yeah, everyone. So if there's a stranger following you around, you really know it. Usually in a small town, you'd recognize. Mine's getting a little larger now, where we used to kind of recognize everybody, but now it's a little bigger. But that's okay. I still want to move. So, yeah. But my concern for these kids is their not just their emotional welfare, and that is a major, major part of it. And anyway, and I'm going to say it like it is. Do these people view these children like getting a puppy or a kitty? I mean, they say fur babies. That's a little far out too. It's like, yeah, they're part of your family, but I mean, when you adopt a child and then you say you're adopting a pet, which I have done, but there's probably more concern about adopting that pet than there is the kid, because there is no follow up on any of it, not like there should be. Popping in once to see if how the household is doing after they apply to adopt for a child. doesn't qualify as a complete psychological evaluation towards who you're putting this child in the care of. You know, it's like, oh, that's cool. They have money, so that's good. No, it's not good. We don't care if you can afford to teach the child how to play golf if you're boffing them in their bedrooms at night, right? So, or if they let somebody else harm their children, which is often the case, right, with the consent of the parents. Seen that too. So, yeah, it's a very serious thing. And it does happen more. I would say now, with all the drug addiction and everything in the world, I bet there's at least 5% of the children that are going to grow up to probably be some pretty monstrous individuals if they aren't helped right now. With all the stuff going on in the world, it's the next generation that we have to protect because nobody else is doing it, you know. So I hope I can help them. So wish me luck, you know. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if some of you, I'm sure you believe in witchcraft. Even if you don't believe that what they're doing has a cause or an effect, um, you probably believe that at least they're trying to do that type of thing, and there are people that consider themselves Wiccan or witches and warlocks. And yes, there's all different types of people. And I'm not going to say if you're Wiccan and you're out hugging a tree that you're evil. I'm not going there, but I am going to tell you if you're practicing witchcraft, um, you will get the energy you put into that isn't going anywhere against except against a strike against your soul. It doesn't matter if you think you're doing something for good or bad. If you're not asking God for your gifts, you're asking the other person. And it is as simple as that. So, yeah. But what would I know, right? Yeah, I know. Why I know? Because I read the book. I had it given to me, so several books concerning that. Yeah, I can recognize y'all that practice. Of course I can. Why wouldn't I? you know, but you don't have to practice. See, practice doesn't always make perfect. Sometimes you have to let God guide you instead of trying to make something happen that isn't within his will. You know, I that's it's not like okay, like I have to work alongside with him to try and help these kids, but I'm not lighting a candle and placing rocks and sitting in the center of a salt circle, um, praying for guidance with these children, and a spell to be cast on the whole house of uh, representatives, or whatever. You see what I mean? I actually have to do something to try and make a difference, something actually that may help other little people. So, other people. Yeah, little people, I feel so tiny today. No, didn't even feel tiny when I was tiny. Couldn't afford to. I'll tell you what, search the faces of the little kids that you see in adoption. Go look at their faces. Every one of them. Look them in their eyes, you know. Then get back to me with your conclusion, you know. Well, I thank you for joining me. If you're new here, um, I haven't checked over on my studio yet if it has any names of new subscribers, but if you want to pop in and say hi and tell me your name, it's always interesting to find out, what do you look like, where are you from, what's your age, what's your favorite color,